This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. 3 shot, 1 fatally in Clarendon. 3 persons were shot, 1 fatally on Rectory Road in Buckner, Clarendon on Tuesday night. The deceased has been identified as a 29-year-old Troy Roswell, a bar operator and a security guard of Buckner. The injured persons are a 20-year-old man and a 31-year-old woman. It's reported that about 9:15, Mr. Roswell and his common-law wife were closing their bar when men walked up and shot them. The gunmen also opened fire on a patron. The attackers escaped in a car and Mr. Roswell was pronounced dead at hospital. The woman was admitted and the 20-year-old man treated and released. 11-year-old girl raped and boogered in Clarendon, manhunt on for attacker. The police in Clarendon are on the manhunt for a male assailant who boogered and raped an 11-year-old girl. The attacker has been on the run since the May 19 incident. It is reported that the young girl was home alone on the night in question in a Clarendon southeastern community when the attacker broke in. She was sexually assaulted by the man, who then fled the scene. Deputy Superintendent Anton Cardozo, Operations Officer for the Clarendon Police, in confirming the incident, said the case is now with the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse. He also used the opportunity to warn parents to be vigilant in the care and the protection of their children. More and more we find the children becoming vulnerable or victims of crime because adequate supervision seemed to be lacking, he said. He said investigations are ongoing. Autopsy of Manchester man killed by mob postponed. The autopsy of 62-year-old Chieftain Campbell, who died shortly after being attacked by a mob in Mandeville, Manchester earlier this month, has been pushed back to Saturday. The autopsy was scheduled for today but was postponed. The reason for the postponement was not disclosed. Campbell was attacked by a mob on Friday, May 6, after being pointed out by an individual as the person who had allegedly robbed a man some time ago. He was assisted to hospital by cops on patrol, where he succumbed to his injuries. 2 weeks ago, commanding officer for the Manchester Police, Superintendent Lloyd Darby, revealed that 2 persons identified in CCTV footage were being sought. When the news sought an update on the investigation, Darby indicated that he could not disclose any information at this delicate stage of the process. He added, however, that he will soon make a statement on the matter. Family, friends, and members of the Victoria Town community in South Manchester, where Campbell lived, remain in heavy mourning over the death of a man they say is innocent. Teen killer sentenced to life imprisonment. Confessed killer 18-year-old Michael Black, who is affiliated with the Clarendon-based Bloods gang, was today sentenced to life imprisonment in the Home Circuit Court. Black pleaded guilty on February 24 to 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of illegal possession of firearm, and 3 counts of robbery with aggravation. Sentencing was handed down by Justice Anne-Marie Lawrence Granger. The court imposed count 1, illegal possession of firearm, 9 years and 8 months at hard labor. Count 2, murder, life imprisonment to serve a period of 20 years and 3 months before parole. Count 3, murder, life imprisonment and to serve a period of 20 years and 3 months before parole. Count 4, illegal possession of firearm, 8 years and 3 months at hard labor. Count 5, robbery with aggravation, 11 years at hard labor. Count 6, robbery with aggravation, 11 years at hard labor. And count 7, robbery with aggravation, 11 years and 9 months at hard labor. The sentences are to run concurrently. Black, according to the prosecution, while he was 16, killed Akeem Kimo Murray and Kamar Kaftan Ramatar on November 18, 2020, near the intersection of Racecourse and Haysfield Roads in Clarendon. At the age of 17, he confessed that he conspired with other members of his gang to carry out a $1.7 million robbery at the Lasco MoneyGram outlet Chapelton, Clarendon on March 22, 2021. Following sentencing, the court was advised that a nolle prosequi had been entered by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to discontinue a separate case of illegal possession of firearm robbery with aggravation, conspiracy to robbery, and illegal possession of ammunition against the black. Mechanic in Kenisa Jackson murder case expected to plead guilty. Robert Fowler, the St. Catherine mechanic who is accused of killing 20-year-old accounting clerk Kenisa Jackson, is expected to plead guilty when he returns to court on October 5. Today, the defense told the court that it has decided against making an application for bail. My reason is a concern for his safety, one of Fowler's attorneys, Lyndon Wellesley, told the court. His other attorney, Althea Freeman, was absent today. During a plea and a case management hearing, which was also mentioned today, Wellesley asked Justice Vinette Graham Allen for more time to have serious and meaningful discussions with his client. Wellesley said the discussions are with a view to have the proceedings shortened, foregoing a trial process. Graham Allen then adjourned the hearing. The prosecution is proceeding with the charge of murder on the indictment dated April 8, 2021. The prosecutor told Fowler, who appeared in court remotely, that she trusts that Wellesley will honor his words when next they appear before her. He was further remanded. Jackson, who resided in Independent City, Portmore, St. Catherine, was found dead on March 26 last year, 2 days after she had been reported missing. Her decomposing body was found in an open lot near the Portmore fishing village. Fowler was taken into custody and charged after he reportedly confessed. Police have theorized that Fowler, who is a mechanic, had lured the woman to his home under the guise that he had left one of his tools. While there, an argument reportedly developed with Jackson, and he allegedly used a rope to strangle her. A handbag believed to be Jackson's and her bank cards were among items reportedly found at Fowler's home. According to the police, Jackson and Fowler shared a platonic relationship. Fowler would transport her to work on occasions. No regulatory loophole to be caused by digital currency amendment, says Clark. Opposition leader Mark Goldin raised concerns on Tuesday that allowing large transactions using central bank digital currency could create a loophole for money laundering. His concerns were mostly allayed in the end, however, during exchanges with Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark at the committee stage of the process of amending the Substantive Act. The matter came up initially as the House of Representatives debated amendments to the Bank of Jamaica Act to allow for the issuance of CBDC as a legal tender. Earlier, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark had noted that CBDC would not fall within the Proceeds of Crime Act's definition of cash, and therefore transactions above $1 million could be done using the digital currency.
CBDC offers the advantage, like CBDC transactions offer the advantage, like other transactions, not unique to CBDC, where there is a record. Now, to the assurance that you seek, as I said in the exchange and the questions and answers, that the institutions that will have the privilege of distributing CBDC or offering cash-in services and cash-out services will be institutions regulated by the central bank. Only institutions regulated by the central bank will have that privilege. And they could be financial institutions, or they could be in another regulatory category called authorized payment providers.
Mr. Golden questioned whether this would create an environment in which criminals could easily carry out illicit transactions. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck also had questions about the checks and the balances, which would prevent money from illegal activities from entering the banking system.
Just so I understand though, so if I have some CBDC and I pay it to you, some account with a regulated entity, if I make that payment, will be debited and an account credited in a formal regulated payment system?
Yes.
That's the point.
Yes.
I want to, that is important.
Yes.
Because that differs from cash as we have previously known it.
Yes.
Dr. Clark said that the money laundering concerns were misplaced, explaining that the transactions would still be taking place within the formal system with records of each transfer. With that assurance, the opposition leader gave his support to the changes. The bill was passed with 2 amendments.
I thank the leader of the opposition because I had the same concern myself in terms of the transfer. So, members, I now put clause 11 as amended. Those in favor? I now put clause 12. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Members, I now put the bill with 2 amendments.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.